I'm Jackson Ramsbottom, and this is my final service presentation. First off is the project proposal overview. The first question is, where will you be working and what needs does this agency meet for the community? During my service learning project, I will be spending my time at the Lincoln Children's Museum. The museum's mission is to invite children to create, discover, and learn through the power of play. The museum offers an opportunity for young children from the Lincoln area to learn and grow in the best way they know how. The power of play. They offer several thousand square feet of kid-friendly space for numerous activities. The museum offers day camps and private parties in addition to their daily rates where anyone can walk in and learn like a kid. The second question is, why does this particular agency interest you more than others? And I felt like the Lincoln Children's Museum would be an amazing place to donate my time. Something about children, laughter, and learning by doing engaging hands-on activities sounded enticing to me. I also love to learn by hands-on activities, so I figured I might as well work at a place that appreciated me, let me do something too, and enjoy my hours I spent there. The third question is, explain the exact duties you will be performing at the agency. In the duties, Katia Guerrero, the volunteer coordinator, listed for me on my service learning agreement were interact with children on museum floor, assist with events and programs, and lastly, assist staff as needed. Pretty basic stuff there. The last part is, what are at least 3 areas of interpersonal skills from the textbook you would like to strengthen or improve during your project, and state why. Well, for the first part of that, my self-concept and self-esteem. Number 2 would be goals, and number 3 would also have to be active listening. I feel as though I need to do a better job working on my self-concept and self-esteem. I also feel that while working with children, I can help develop their self-concept and self-esteem as well. I think that confidence is closely related to these traits, and that in order for me to be more confident with myself, I first must hone these skills. 2. I think learning to set and attain goals is going to be important during my service learning project. Each week there will be assignments and things to get done for this class. I will think of these things to get done as my goals for the class. I will get assignments completed, as well as learning something about myself and the children I am working with. 3. I know I need to strengthen my active listening skills while working at the museum. I have a bad habit of hearing what people are saying, but not truly listening to the message and letting it slip out of my mind. I know that to become a better communicator, I need to improve my listening skills, as it plays a crucial role in this process. I need to do a better job of showing people that I understand the message that they are trying to get across. Applied skills. There have been many examples of how I have applied the interpersonal skills I've learned in class towards my time at the museum, but one of the most prevalent skills that I used would be my active listening skills. The kids have so much they want to say to you. You're a new person to them, and they want to tell you the most exciting thing that pops into their head. They're so young that they often get frustrated if you don't relate with them and understand the message that they're trying to convey to you. It takes some pertinent attention to make sure you follow along and decipher the story that they're telling you. Another important interpersonal skill I learned in class is that I have applied is building trust. I came in as an outsider to these children whom I spent several weeks with, so I had to start early with building the trust between them and myself. I would do this by gradually incorporating the elements of trust into my interaction with them. They love when you share stories with them. Children ask millions of questions, and they would really warm up to me when I would share exciting and engaging stories about myself with them. Getting their input on activities and decisions makes them feel as though they truly matter to you. All of these elements help me build trust with my campers. The third and equally important interpersonal skill I applied during my project would have to be increasing campers' self-concept and self-esteem. In camp, it was clear to see that there were certain children that just didn't have the same confidence that other children had when it came to activities or how they carried themselves overall. I would pay special attention to these children while doing activities. I would encourage them to be independent enough to where they could get a task completed on their own, which in turn would help boost their self-esteem because they knew they were capable and could do something relatively difficult all by themselves. Contributions. For the first half of my service project, I think the best example of contributing to the organization would have to be by being a volunteer for the learning camp, as well as interacting with children to build their self-esteem. It was really fun for me to get to play with the kids and have a good time, but I'm really there to make sure everything goes smoothly and everyone is being safe. There were plenty of ways for the kids to get hurt or do something catastrophic, so I would say it's pretty important to have watchful eyes in all areas of the museum to make sure nothing gets too crazy. Also, some children were obviously still struggling with building self-esteem and self-confidence, as stated before. I really enjoyed doing projects with these kids to help them feel a sense of self-accomplishment. I love seeing the look on their face after they completed a difficult task. That really made me happy. For the second half of my service project, I feel as though the biggest way I contributed to the organization was through their learning camps. Obviously, children get frustrated when they can't figure something out, and Emily, the camp leader, can't be with everyone all at once, so I have to be an extension of her. I didn't want to complete the learning task for the children. Instead, I wanted to explain to them why they hit a hurdle, how to accomplish the goal, and the importance of doing the activity. When you explain things to them again in a new way, quite often you just see the light bulb go off in their head, and then you get to reap the benefits of seeing the joy on their face from completing the activity while still doing it on their own. Skills development. The three goal statements I declared at the beginning of the semester were: I hope to learn and become better at developing children's self-concept and self-esteem. I believe that we can grow together as I develop myself. The second was: in my experience at the Children's Museum, I want to get better at achieving goals as I set them during my service learning course assignments. The third one was: I want to learn to become better with active listening. I believe I can accomplish this goal while working under someone at the museum. And I think I have successfully accomplished these goals set forth at the beginning of the semester. But let's break them down one by one. For the first goal, I think I did a great job at developing children's self-concept and self-esteem. Yes, it was appropriate. It was even one of the interpersonal skills I used most in camp. For the second statement, I believe I did a great job achieving my goals as I created and accomplished them during my service project. I believe it was an appropriate goal because I'd like to think I'm a goal-oriented person. I like to check things off my goals list. And 3, I can surely attest that my active listening skills improved. This is clearly an appropriate goal. I used this skill several times each day. As I got better at active listening, I became a better camp instructor. I think these goals were sufficient as they ended up being pretty important and were skills that I ended up using quite frequently as compared to some others. I believe I was able to accomplish these goals because I worked in an environment that allowed for growth and development of myself as well as the children. Emily gave me information I needed for each session, and I was allowed to demonstrate the things I was learning in class with my campers on a daily basis. The project allowed me to grow my interpersonal skills. I was very thankful that I had such a relaxed work environment with Emily as my boss. What I did didn't necessarily affect her, but I would say the children are whom my conversation and interaction affected. I could use interpersonal skills with them. If I were to do the project over again, I would break my time up into more dates rather than doing 4 hours at a time. I would have broken it up into maybe 2-hour blocks so I got to see more campers. But that being said, I was thankful for the relationships I grew while staying with certain groups for longer periods of time. Yes, I certainly would recommend the Children's Museum for other ALEC 102 students. They were very easy to work with at the museum. The people who worked there are so easy to get along with. It was a great experience. Thank you very much.